Have you ever come across something that just doesn't quite add up? You see someone who's diving deep into spiritual teachings, really studying, and then, all of a sudden, they stop praying. It's a really confusing and honestly a troubling thing to see. So today, we're going to get into the logic, or maybe the mislogic, behind why this happens.
And if you ask them, you might hear something like this: I've arrived. They feel that after studying hakikat, or the inner reality of things, they've somehow graduated. They believe they've reached a spiritual peak where the physical rituals, the forms of worship, just aren't for them anymore.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is leaving prayer behind a sign of real spiritual progress, like you've moved on to the advanced class? Or is it actually a huge misunderstanding, a sign that you've taken a serious wrong turn on the path?
So first things first, let's be clear about what we're looking at. This isn't just some new trend. The way our sources frame it, this is a spiritual symptom. It's a major red flag that someone's spiritual health and their understanding needs a serious diagnosis. And here's the absolute core of the issue. A true, genuine understanding of inner reality, of hakikat, doesn't kill off the religious law, the shariat. Not at all. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It breathes life into it. It's the soul that animates the body of our worship from the inside out.
Okay, so if the inner and outer dimensions are supposed to be this perfect team, where does all the confusion come from? Well, it comes from a very subtle but dangerous mix-up, confusing the clear path of the prophet with the tricky, sneaky traps of our own ego.
Now, check this out. The spiritual journey is often described as having these 4 layers. You've got shariat, which is all about our outward actions, then tariqat, the path to purify what's inside, then hakikat, realizing who we truly are, and finally, marfat, which is the direct witnessing of God. The key, though, is that they aren't separate stages. They're all woven together. And this slide just nails the core problem. The right way to see it is that all 4 layers are one unified whole, each one making the others deeper and more real. The wrong way? Thinking of it like a ladder. You climb up a rung, and then you just kick it away. That's not moving up. That's setting yourself up for a big fall.
So where does this wrong idea even start? A lot of the time, it starts with a deeply profound spiritual truth, something like this. And it's true. In the grand scheme of things, our individual self is temporary, and only God is truly real. But here's the danger. When an ego that hasn't been humbled gets a hold of this idea, it twists it into something else entirely. You see, the whole point of what's called fana, or spiritual annihilation, isn't to get rid of your obedience. It's to get rid of your egoism, that constant me voice in your head. Someone who's truly on this path doesn't stop obeying. No way. They become more humble, more devoted, and even more desperate to show their love through prayer. You know, there's actually a modern psychological term for this whole tendency, and it is perfect. It's a sickness of the soul, and it's called a spiritual bypass.
So, what is a spiritual bypass? It's when someone grabs onto these big, beautiful spiritual concepts and uses them as a shield, an excuse. It's a way to dodge real-world responsibilities, to avoid physical duties like prayer, and even to run away from their own unresolved issues, all while pretending to be spiritually advanced. And I'm sure you've heard this kind of thinking before. It sounds like, oh, my prayer is with my feeling, not my body. Or, my heart is always remembering God, so I don't need to say anything. It's all just fancy talk to justify not doing the work. Okay, now let's put all that on pause and look at the ultimate example, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Nobody had a deeper, more real connection to the divine than he did. And what did he do? He didn't get rid of prayer. He cherished it. He called it the coolness of my eyes, his greatest comfort and joy. And this really just stops you in your tracks, right? It's a question we all have to sit with. If the most spiritually complete human being who ever lived not only prayed, but prayed so much that his feet would literally swell up, I mean, who are we to say we've outgrown it?
So what are the warning signs? How can you spot when someone's understanding has gone off-road? Well, they start looking down on prayer. They might mock the rules of the religion. There's this vibe of spiritual arrogance, like they're better than regular people. They'll call worship an empty form. It's not enlightenment, it's a delusion. So the real solution here isn't about choosing the body or the soul, the outer or the inner. The real path is about bringing them together. It's a total integration where the physical form and the spiritual reality become one complete, beautiful thing.
I love this metaphor. It's so perfect. Think about it. An inner reality, a haqiqat, that never shows up in your actions, it's like a big, promising cloud that never actually gives any rain. It's just potential, with no real benefit for anyone.
And of course, the opposite is just as true. Going through the motions of prayer and rituals without any inner feeling, without any presence, well, that's like a body without a soul. It looks the part, but it's empty. It's missing the very thing that gives it life. Because you see, for someone who truly has that deep spiritual vision, that makrifat, worship doesn't get thrown away. It gets an upgrade. It's totally transformed. Prayer stops being a chore and starts being an intimate meeting with the one you love. Fasting isn't just about being hungry, it's a deep cleaning of the soul. And prostration, that's not just putting your head on the ground, it's coming home. And that leads us to this beautiful conclusion. Real, genuine spiritual depth doesn't make you want to stop praying. It does the exact opposite. The deeper you go, the more you understand reality, the more your soul just yearns to fall down in prostration out of love and gratitude. So let's leave it with this final, powerful idea. The whole point of seeking the truth isn't to cut the ropes that connect us to God. It's to tie ourselves to Him even tighter. A true understanding of reality will always, always lead you back to that sacred connection. And the most beautiful name for that connection is prayer.